students, today I am going to take the 7th standard science chapter transfer of heat. So in this chapter we are going to study about how the heat transfers from one object to another. So I will give one example. See, when you bring the hot coffee or the tea and instead of drinking at that time, if you keep it for a while, what happens after some times? Does it remain the same? Does the coffee or tea have the same amount of heat? Do you feel the same amount of heat after few time if you keep it for a while? No. After some time it will become cold. The hot coffee will become little colder. You can observe the variation in temperature. Okay, when you touch you can feel it. We can observe the variation in temperature. So heat also transfers from one object to another. The reason is there is transfer of heat. So now let us conduct an activity to understand what do you mean by transfer of heat.
You must have held both ice and hot cup of coffee. Why is it that in one you feel cold, while in the other it is hot? When heat energy from our body flows out rapidly, we feel very cold. This is the case when we hold ice. Ice on the palm gives a sensation of cold because heat from your body flows out of your body to the ice. With this heat, the ice on your palm melts. When the heat energy flow from outside into our body is rapid and more, we feel very hot. This is the case when we hold cup of coffee. The heat from tea or coffee flows to tea to the hand. Thus, it is the flow of heat energy which determines the cold or hot. Students, let us perform an activity to understand the concept of direction of heat flow. We place a glass of hot milk in a dish with cold water. After some time, milk gets cool and water gets warm. Both milk and water come to lie at the same temperature. Direction of the flow of heat is from hot to cold.
Okay, in this activity we have observed that when we kept the hot water in the beaker containing warm water, what happens? There is variation in temperature. Okay, the hot water become little cold. The boiling water lost its temperature. We have observed the transfer of heat from the hot beaker to the bowl of water. There is transfer of heat from the beaker containing hot water to the bowl containing little cold water. So in our daily life we can give so many examples for the transfer of heat. Okay, the transfer of heat occurs in different materials and always the heat transfers from the object which is having higher temperature to the lower temperature. There is transfer of heat from the object having higher temperature to the object having lower temperature. The transfer of heat occurs in 3 ways. Okay. They are, first one is conduction, second one is convection, and the third one is radiation. In these 3 ways, there is transfer of heat occurs from one object to the another. In today's class, let us discuss more about this transfer of heat. Okay. Now I am going to explain about what do you mean by conduction of heat. The transfer of heat from the hot object to the less hot object, when the 2 objects are in contact, we call it as conduction of heat. When the conduction of heat occurs? Only whenever there is transfer of heat from the hot object to the less hot object when they are in contact. There is conduction of heat occurs. So what do you mean by conduction of heat? What do you mean by conduction of heat? The transfer of heat from a hot object to less hot object when they are in contact is called conduction of heat. The transfer of heat from hot object to less hot object when they are in contact is called conduction of heat. So how it takes place? So I will give one example. Okay, consider I have kept one candle here, burning candle, and I have kept one object. In the object, in the solid materials, what is present? Yes, they have the molecules. In the objects, molecules are present, right?
Bet you have seen food being cooked in a pan. When a pan is placed over a burner, the contents of the pan become hot. Why? This is because heat flows or gets transferred from the burner to the pan. The flow of heat through a solid is known as conduction. Let us try to understand conduction with the help of a simple activity. For the activity, you need an iron rod, a stand, some iron nails, a candle, and melted wax. Now fix the iron rod on the stand as shown. Then dip the head of the iron nails in the melted wax and stick them at equal distances on the iron rod. Then light the candle and place it at the other end of the rod. Wait for a while. What do you observe after a while? The nail closest to the candle will fall off the rod first, then the next nail, and so on. Thus, heat energy gets transferred from a hotter region to a colder region. But how does heat transfer occur? When a solid is heated, the molecules at the heated end start vibrating and transfer the energy to the next molecule. Thus, heat energy spreads uniformly throughout the rod. During conduction in a solid, heat is transferred along the body of the solid from one particle to another without the movement of the particles. Hence, conduction is defined as the flow of heat through a solid without the actual movement of the solid. Do all substances conduct heat the same way? No. Substances that conduct heat well are called good conductors of heat. Generally, all metals are good conductors of heat, and substances that do not conduct heat are called poor conductors of heat or insulators.
So in this activity, you have observed that when I take this rod and when I start heating, what happens? There are molecules. So when they get the heat energy, they starts vibrating. Whenever the heat energy increased in the molecule, it starts vibrating faster. So there is transfer of heat. There is transfer of heat from this molecule to the next molecule, neighborhood molecule. So this is how the transfer of heat continues from one end to the another end. So the another end also gets the heat energy. So this is how the temperature was raised along the length of the rod. This is how the transfer of heat takes place along the length of the rod. So whenever you heat one side of the object, there is transfer of heat. There is this you feel the temperature at this end also after some time. So and this in this case, when the molecules are very close to each other, the transfer takes place faster. The transfer takes place faster. The neighborhood molecules receive the heat energy faster because they are closely packed. So the solids gets heated very fast compared to the liquid and gas. In a liquid, what happens? The molecules are not so closely packed as compared to the solid material. They are not closely packed. They are little far apart. That is why the transfer of heat takes place little slower compared to the solid. In the liquid, the transfer of heat takes place little slower compared to the solid material. And when you compare to the gas material, okay, gas molecules. In the gas molecules, the particles are very far away from each other, right? So the transfer of heat takes place from one molecule to another. It takes longer time to get the heat energy. It gets heated very slower compared to the liquid and solid. Whereas the solid gets heated very fast compared to liquid and gas. So heat energy, transfer of heat energy takes place faster in solids than liquid and gas. In the gas molecules, what happens? The transfer of heat takes place very slower at a very slow rate. Okay, now let us discuss about what are the conditions required for the conduction of heat. There are two conditions for the conduction of heat. There should be kept closer to each other. Okay, there should be close contact between two objects. Okay, there should be two bodies and there should be close contact between the two objects. Then only the conduction of heat takes place. And one more condition is there should be at different temperature. When you take two objects, the temperature of that two objects should be different. If you take two objects of same temperature, there is no transfer of heat takes place. There is no conduction of heat takes place. Got it? So these are the conditions for the conduction of heat. And once they attain the same temperature, okay, whenever there is conduction of heat, what happens? There is transfer of heat from one object to another object, right? And when this temperature of both these objects become equal, then there is stop. Okay. Thereafter, there is no more conduction of heat takes place. Okay. Whenever they attain the same temperature, when these two bodies attain the same temperature after transfer of heat, once they attain the same temperature, there will stop their transfer of heat. The transfer of heat will be stopped at that time. Okay. The next concept is conductor of heat. Okay, what do you mean by conductors of heat? The materials which conduct the heat readily are called conductors of heat. Okay, in some materials only through some materials only we can transfer the heat. In some material we cannot transfer the heat. We can give so many examples. Okay, see, we use the steel vessel, aluminium vessel for cooking. We don't prefer this glass material or the wooden material for heating. So what is the reason? Because they do not conduct readily the heat. That is why. So the materials which conduct heat are known as conductors of heat. So what do you mean by conductors of heat? The materials readily conduct heat are called good conductors of heat. Okay, some materials are through some material we can easily transfer the heat. Okay, they easily conduct heat. We prefer only few materials at home for the cooking, for boiling, or for preparing any dishes. We don't use the materials such as which is made up of glass, plastic materials and all, because they do not conduct heat readily. So easily they do not transfer the heat, that is why. And they are not good for the conduction property. So the materials which conduct the heat readily are called good conductors of heat, and the materials do not conduct heat readily are called bad conductors of heat, or we call it as insulator. So we can give so many examples for the good conductors of heat. Which are they? Example for the good conductors of heat. The materials such as steel vessel, steel, aluminium, brass, all these are the good conductors of heat. Or if you observe some cooking vessels at the bottom, they have coated with the copper. Have you observed? They have coated with the copper. The reason is the copper is a good conductor of heat. That is why we can so fast it transfer the heat. That is why the materials will be coated with the copper. Then which are the examples for the bad conductors of heat or the insulator? Plastic, glass, wood are the bad conductors of heat. Okay, so readily they will not conduct the heat, that is why. And because of this property of material, conduction of heat property of materials, we have so many applications. Now let us discuss about the uses of these conductors and insulators. Because they have the property of these conductors and insulator, because the material have this property of conduction of heat, because they are conductors and insulator, they are very helpful in our daily life. So now let us discuss. The first thing is, for cooking purpose we use the materials which are the good conductors of heat. So we prefer the vessels which is made up of brass, aluminium, then steel vessels. For cooking we use the brass, aluminium, steel vessels, because they are the good conductors of heat. And then most of in the present generation, okay, nowadays we use the vessels which having the coating of copper, because the copper is a good conductor of heat. So the vessels have the copper coating. So the dish will be cooked very quickly if we use the vessel which is having the copper coating. The next thing is handles. Okay, the handles of the cooker or the pan and all is made up of the insulators. So example, Bakelite. Okay, these are the bad conductors of heat. Okay, Bakelite, then bamboo or the wooden. The handles of the vessels having this material, okay, Bakelite, bamboo or the wood material, because they do not conduct the heat. When you touch the hot materials, when you hold that handle, through that handle the conduction of heat does not take place. That is why we prefer the handles which is made up of Bakelite, bamboo and wood. So most of the vessel having the handles which is made up of Bakelite, bamboo and wood, they are the insulators. Through that the transfer of heat does not take place. The next thing is ice blocks. These ice blocks are kept in the ice blocks are covered with the cloth or the sawdust, because this cloth, woolen cloth and this sawdust are the bad conductors of heat. Through that the transfer of heat does not take place. That is why the ice blocks are covered with the cloth and sawdust. These are the bad conductors of heat, or they are the insulators. The next thing is cold drinks. Have you observed when you go to shop, okay, the ice cream box, inside the ice cream box they have this thermocol box, okay. The ice cream box having the coating of this thermocol, because through the thermocol the transfer of heat does not take place. The thermocol is the insulator, that is why through the thermocol there is no transfer of heat takes place. So if you keep the cold object, the coldness will be there in the ice cream or in the cold drinks only. There is no transfer of heat takes place through the thermocol box, that is why. So the ice cream will not become warm after some time. So the cold drink will not become warm after some time. That is why we will store the cold drinks or the ice cream in the thermocol box. Okay, during the winter season we prefer the woolen clothes. During winter season we prefer the woolen clothes. So what is the reason? Because these woolen clothes are the bad conductors of heat. So what happens? The wool and the air trapped by the wool is a bad conductor of heat. Through that there is no transfer of heat takes place. That is why whenever we wear the woolen cloth we feel hot. They does not allow the body heat to escape from our body. So that is why we prefer the woolen clothes to wear during the winter season, because they does not allow the heat of our body to escape from the body. That is the reason. All the metals does not get heated up at the same temperature. Each metal have its own specific heat. So now let us discuss about specific heat of metals.
We have rods of different metals attached to a central hub. On each of the rods is a small amount of butter. The metal rods have different specific heats and will heat up at different rates. We will watch the order in which the butter melts. The aluminum melts first. The brass melts second. The iron melts third. The nickel melts fourth. The copper melts fifth. The stainless steel melts sixth.
Conduction also takes place in liquids and gases. Now let us discuss about the conduction in liquids and gases through this video.
Now, let's consider the heat conduction in water. Put ice and water into a boiling tube. The ice flows near the water surface. A wire gauze is used in order to keep the ice at the bottom of the boiling tube. Now, heat the boiling tube by a Bunsen burner with the flame near the water surface. Very soon, boiling occurs, but this confines to the water near the surface. At the same time, you can see ice remaining at the bottom of the boiling tube. Here, the boiling water is at 100 degrees Celsius, and the ice is at 0 degrees Celsius, and they coexist in the same boiling tube. We can even touch the part of the boiling tube where ice can be found. However, never touch the part where water boils. The temperature of the water inside the tube ranges from 0 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius. This experiment shows that water is not a good heat conductor. Now, let's consider the heat conduction through air. A matchstick is moved horizontally towards the flame of a Bunsen burner. You can see that even the matchstick is less than 1 centimeter from the flame, it does not ignite. This shows that air is a good heat insulator or a poor heat conductor. Question: if the matchstick is moved from above, it will be ignited quickly. How do you explain this? Be the first to write your answer in the comments below. You are welcome to comment on the answers of other people. In summary, water and air are poor heat conductor. This can
The next way of transfer of heat is convection of heat. The heat can be transferred from one object to another object by this method, that is convection of heat. So what do you mean by convection of heat? Convection of heat is the process by which heat is transmitted in liquids and gases by the actual movement of molecules is called convection. The process by which heat is transmitted in liquids and gases by the actual movement of molecules is called convection. So generally we have studied that the conduction of heat does not take place in the liquid and gases. The rate of transfer of heat is very slow in liquid and gases, but there is transfer of heat takes place. So what happens when there is a transfer of heat? That process we call it as convection. So what happens when we supply the heat energy to the liquid and gases? There is raising, okay, there is raise and there is expansion. There is raise and expansion of the molecules. We can see. Let us conduct an activity to understand how the convection of heat takes place in gases and liquid.
A chocolate in your hand melts eventually as the heat is conducted from your hand to the chocolate. This shows that conduction does take place in solids. Today I will show you convection taking place in liquids. For this experiment, we need a glass of water, a setup, matchsticks, candle, and KMnO4 crystals. First, we have to put very little amount of potassium permanganate in the glass of water. So now we will put the mixture for heating. The liquid at the bottom of the glass is heated first, so it will expand. That its volume will increase and its density will decrease. Then the surrounding water, and so it will rise.
We can see that the water which is heated from the bottom rises up, because on heating the volume increases, density decreases. So along with the water, the KMnO4 also rises up. So the layers of water going up, and the cold water which is at the top, it comes down as it is more heavier. So we can see that there is a motion of layers of the liquid that can be clearly seen with the help of KMnO4. So this suggests the convection currents set up in the water.
So what happens when you supply the heat energy? When you heat the liquid material, what happens when it gets heat energy? There is raising level of water and there is expansion. Okay, there is raising level of water and there is expansion. And so what happens whenever we supply the heat? This part will become hot and this will be little cool. So what happens when it gets the heat energy? When the molecules below molecules gets the heat energy, it will be raised up, and this the molecules which are cool, the molecules above this part will be transferred to will come down. Okay, they will come down, and the molecules which are cool will be occupied by the place where the hot molecules are there. What happens when we supply the heat energy? In the beginning, the lower part will become hot and it starts raising up. Whenever we supply the heat energy to the liquid and gases, there is a raising level of water or a raising level of the gas molecules, and there is expansion. There is expansion of the molecules. So the lower part will become hot and there is raising level of that. So it will be it goes up, and this cooler part molecules will come down. They will come down and they start heated. Okay. So there is continuous movement of the molecules we can observe. there is continuous movement of observe. The hot molecules will raise up, and whereas the cooler molecules, cooler substance will come down, and again it starts heating, and again there is a rising level of water, and again there is cool. Okay, this is how the movement of rising level of cooler molecules and settle down of the cooler molecules takes place in the during the movement of the during the convection of heat. These similarities we can observe in the gas molecules also.
This experiment is a very graphic demonstration about convectional currents. You need a cardboard box, a few incense sticks, a transparency tape, a candle, and some other material. Take a large cardboard box and make 2 holes in the middle and cut out a rectangular portion from the front surface. And you can see there is a black paper which is taped on the background, and this transparency is stuck to the front part. Take another piece of transparency and roll it into a cylinder. Make 2 such chimneys and press them tightly in the 2 holes of this box. Remember, the front part of this box is the transparency, on the back is black paper. Then light a flat candle and place it just below the left hand chimney. We know that as the candle burns, air gets hot, and hot air being lighter rises up in the chimney. Then bring some incense sticks near the right hand chimney, and the smoke would be sucked into this box, and you can see very beautiful convectional currents. As the hot air rises from the left hand chimney, it sucks in the smoke from the right hand chimney. And this is a model which graphically shows you convectional currents.
Whenever we supply the heat energy, in the beginning, the lower hot molecules will be raised up, and they will expand, and they will occupy the space of the cooler substance. Again, this cooler substance will occupy the place which was occupied by the warm substance, and they get heated. Again, there is raise, and they will cool down, and they will become heat. This is how there is continuous movement of molecules takes place during the convection of heat. So that process is known as convection current. So what do you mean by convection current? The movement of the continuous movement that is seen when the warm substance rises and a cooler substance settles down in its place is called convection current. What do you mean by convection current? The continuous movement that is seen when the warm substance rises and the cooler substance settles down in its place is called a convection current. So that movement is known as convection current. Okay, we can see this convection current in our everyday life. So we will discuss about that in the next class. Okay, till now we have studied about, in today's class we have studied about the 2 types of transfer of heat, that is conduction of heat, another one is convection of heat, and the application of conduction of heat we have studied in today's class. The remaining part let us discuss in the next class. Thank you, students.